Watt has tied Michael Strahan's single-season record.
Oh, no.
In the air to right. This is deep. And he did it again. Jack Suwinski wins it for the Pirates. 3 home runs in a game.
Welcome to another live show of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studios, right here in the Municipal Building in Bethel Park. Thank you for watching us on Comcast 21, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, City of Pittsburgh, and the greater Pittsburgh area. We appreciate you. And thanks for all the Facebook likes. I think we're at like 6,982. So we're still trying to hit that 7K. And please go to our Pittsburgh Sportsline channel and subscribe. I know you're watching us live stream in Bethel Park. I'll have to get Nick to help get me going here. Let me take a quick peek and see what I got here. Hold on. Got to do that password. Okay. All right, we got nothing yet. All right, so whoever's watching, we appreciate you doing that. But go to Pittsburgh Sportsline channel on YouTube. We're at 113 subscribers. We'd like to at least get 2 more. So hate to put you under pressure, but we need a couple more subscribers. And thanks for watching us on Facebook. We appreciate the live streaming there and all your input and feedback. Even if we disagree, we'll listen to you. And you know we have a little sense of humor that we pass around each day. Sometimes Smokin' Jim pays the price because we know how Smokin' Jim's Smokin' Jim. And some of you learned like it, so that's just how he is. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. And I got to share this. Hold on. Unbelievable. It's my birthday on Friday. And I'm going to do this for TV. Let me see if I can get, wow, this is one heavy cake. My best friend, Smokin' Jim Frazier, got me a birthday cake. Look at that cake. Should I hold it up? Happy birthday, talking machine. He said he was going to Bethel Bakery, and they don't have one in Monroeville. And he just found that out. So we're going to dig into that in a little bit. Oh, man, I'm glad he gave me napkins, and I got a knife to cut it. Look at this great. And there's white inside.
I ain't touching that.
And it's all right.
Disclaimer.
It's all right. Disclaimer in advance. We don't believe in racism. Smokin' Jim's a black man and he sounds racist. That's what I hear, but he's my best friend.
That's why he keeps me around. I'm the only one.
Oh, you got it. And we'll try eating the cake. Thank you, Smokin' Jim Frazier. There's Smokin' Jim Frazier here. We got Jim Guns Ellenbogen comes in every other week. Chip's here the other odd week, and they split that up. Guns has been moving in since last November and earlier. We had him in the Next Man Up. I'll explain that since they all understand Tomlin.
Next man up.
So Chip told me he was getting his knee transplant end of November, and I got Guns coming to our shows. He had to fill in. Smokin' Jim had an emergent. He had a hospital stay. He called me up 4 days before he had surgery, said he would miss our Tuesday night show on a Friday. And I'm thinking, I had kidney transplant surgery, and a month ahead of time, they had me in for surgery. So I get a mysterious text message, and I know he's told all of us he's an honest man, so I'm staying on that theme. Sorry to beat him up. This cake I got, wonderful.
I think you gave him too much sugar.
So the night before his surgery, he goes, "Hey, Machine, I'm getting surgery tomorrow." Now, it's not in conversation. He's a great conversationalist. He has what's called a text-only phone. And I go, okay. You know, I tried to ask what's wrong. You know, sponge baths are great. White doctor's good. So I go, can you tell me you're okay after your surgery? He goes, sure. It's a little long-winded story, but I'll keep it short and sweet. So anybody that's had surgery knows. Now, he doesn't, because he lives in a little bubble. That to get surgery, doctors are surgeons, so they do surgeons every week of the year. That means other people go get surgery. So if you go to a surgeon, they schedule in advance. Well, that was out the window. So now, get back to, he said he'd get a hold of me. He goes, Machine, I'm out of surgery. I go, I just prayed for you today. I didn't know if you would. He goes, well, I'm out. So I ask, how are you? No answer. And then I go, when are you getting out? Because I've been praying him for each day. He's my best friend. I can't help it how he is. I like him with all his little idiosyncrasies. So I send him that message, and he messaged me back almost the quickest I ever got. He goes, Machine, I don't ask the hard questions like you do. And then, so I let him go with that, right? And I got other friends of his, always sweeties, are contacting me and whatever else. I go, he's in the hospital, I don't know which one. So then I pray for him every morning. You know, he thanks me. Well, on Saturday morning, I pray for him. I don't hear anything back from him. So later in the day, I go, you okay? He goes, I'm home now. That's the end of my Smoking Jim story. So we're going to talk sports with you in a
Show's
minute.
over now.
And we got Nick Callis doing double, triple duty.
He's the man.
He's doing cameras. He's doing control room. He's doing live stream. He got the TriCaster going. He got everything going. You'll hear him.
Hello.
There you go.
We want him on Beaver County Radio.
Guess what? You can't listen to it in Bethel Park. There's no way you can listen to it. So he's not going. It's bad enough Ralph stole you from me. He's not stealing Nick. You can try, but I'll make him a better offer, I guarantee it. Okay, so we have our promos that Nick and I worked on. So Nick, hit the button for the promos, and we'll be back to talk some sports. We can't wait. There's so much to talk about. I'm too excited. All right, let's go. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com.
Don't miss the Park and Play Summer Spectacular on Friday, June 30th. Parking lots open at 7 o'clock for you to reserve a spot for the fireworks show scheduled to begin at 9:40. And 4 of the 5 locations will have food vendors this year. Go to St. Germain's Church to munch on some kettle corn. Cool down with Woo's Shaved Ice at the Cool Springs Sports Complex. Abraham Lincoln Elementary School will feature Kona Ice. And Beatles Ice Cream has the Hamilton Presbyterian Church lot covered. If you're just looking for a view and don't need any treats, then the Lowe's Home Improvement lot is for you. In the event of inclement weather on Friday, the event will be postponed by 1 day. The Bethel Park Summer Spectacular, part of the Park and Play series. It's fun, festive, and free. And now this message from BPTV.
Alas, poor talking machine. I knew him well. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy?
Dave, I'm not dead. I'm still doing Pittsburgh Sportsline every Tuesday night and many other weekly shows on BPTV.
That's great, Al, but then who's this?
I don't know, but we must leave right now. Let's go. Help save Pittsburgh police officer Jeffrey Crawford. Jeffrey is in need of a kidney donation. He's in stage 5 renal failure and he's on dialysis 3 times a week. He needs this kidney ASAP. To contact the UPMC donor registry, call 412-647-4438 or go to livingdonorreg.upmc.com. And to help spread awareness, use the hashtag #BlessJeff on socials. Let's come together to support Pittsburgh policeman Jeffrey Crawford in his time of need. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org. Zhang Taekwondo just opened a new location in the South Hills, along with its location in Wexford and its inclusion in the curriculum of Provident Charter School in Troy Hill. Zhang uses Taekwondo to teach its students confidence and self-discipline through physical fitness. Zhang is offering a 4-week special. You get a uniform and lessons for $30. If you mention the Talking Machine, Smokin' Jim, or VIP Nick, they'll give you a further discount. For more information, go to zangtkd.com or call 724-934-9264. Okay, we're back for real. Hey, first off, Pete, Paul Haley, and 2 others are watching. Marco Rodi, happy birthday, Al. Thank you, Marco.
That's my man.
Enjoy your time with your grandparents. They're watching from Rochester, so thank you guys for watching and being big fans. They're our biggest fans in Rochester, New York. Amy, hi guys. Happy birthday, Al. Smoking Jim, I like your outfit.
Thank you, Amy.
Ralph Williams, great cake. Happy birthday, Al. Thank you very much. And I hope your show went well with Smoking Jim. He's been quiet on that. Chief, think I just missed the talking machine at the Market District.
Look at this.
Have a great show. Early happy birthday. Hey, Chief, I was at the Market District today, so you may have seen me there for sure. Okay, Paul Haley, happy birthday, Al Levine, the talking machine, watching live on Facebook in South Carolina. I thought Smoking Jim would be wearing Lakers gear tonight. That's a teaser, Paul. I brought it out last week about Jalen, and wait till we talk about it. I'm not sure if Smoking will, so I planned on it, but I know he'll one-up me. And then, Ralph, you can count us on Facebook and YouTube and on Beaver County Radio. Well, we have a problem with Beaver County Radio. I tried tuning in last week and this week. Ralph, you got to get that signal up a little bit. Just saying. All right. That's it for that. We got to do Smoking Jim Frazier. Thanks again for the birthday cake. And this is my real birthday since 1956. What's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Here it comes.
You got to see Levine. And I tell you what, my man Nick, we love our Yankee gear. If the Yankees was in the National League Central, they'd be in first place. But I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, the only thing stopping the Pirates' losing streak is the rain. Rain, rain, don't go away. Stay here a couple more days. But I tell you what, I got to thank Al Levine, the talking machine. Al Levine, the talking machine.
What?
For my godson, Jalen Shafino, I don't call the hood.
Well, that's his dad.
Al Levine, the talking machine, was the first one to ever interview him. He was the first one to ever interview him on TV on Pittsburgh Sportsline, and records are made to be broken. He was at one time the youngest guy that Al Levine and Pittsburgh Sportsline ever interviewed, although that record has been broken. So, hey, congratulations to my godson, who's now a Los Angeles Laker.
Do you remember when that was? Because Mario Tempest asked me, and I said I think it was in 2013.
It was somewhere in the teens.
Because my man doesn't have a calendar. So it may have been in 2012, but I'm not sure. But we will check back. You can go to our page and check out our shows at SIP Sports Bar. For all of you to go to YouTube, Pittsburgh Sportsline channel on YouTube. You can check it out. Thank you, Smoking Jim. And I'll add to what he said, because he has 149 godchildren.
We know
I've met all of them, because it's unbelievable when we'd go out who we'd meet, and they're all godchildren, guys and girls. Then the other thing, since it's about Smoking Jim, what a good guy he is, he has more cousins than I thought live in Monroeville. Than there are people there. Because wherever I go, they're cousins. And we've been at boxing and MMA, and he doesn't know a certain guy who's calling him a cousin. So I don't know what's going on. Let's ask Guns, what's on your mind, Guns?
Well, being that you brought this up about Jim, when I played, after the game, were all these little kids running up to me, asking me if I knew their dad, and they'd always show me his picture.
Whoa!
I'm just saying.
I believe you, Guns.
Anyway,
That was a good one.
let's talk a little
We need to get the sports out here.
All right. Everybody knows they're talking about Mike Tomlin getting a new contract.
Yeah.
Now, we're familiar with the term. The standard is the standard, right?
Yeah.
Well, what Mike Tomlin has been able to do is reinvent the standard of Pittsburgh. In our day, the standard was bust mouth football,
Yes, sir.
win Super Bowls.
Yes, sir.
You know, for a team that's won 6 Super Bowls, now the standard is the standard that average is okay.
Well, the winning seasons are okay. Sorry to steal your thunder, but
Well,
you're
one
leading me
game,
around
9
the
and
block.
8. Well, okay, well, all right. Average winning seasons. And
Or
you'll hear
non-losing seasons.
how many playoff games in 12 years?
Wins 3.
3. Okay? Any other team would have already got rid of it. But I don't know. Now that the standard is the standard, just a winning season is acceptable. We don't care that we win Super Bowls. Our era has passed, obviously.
Whoa.
And the thing that gets me, he wasted a Hall of Fame quarterback. He spent more money on defenses in the history of the Steelers.
Number 1 paid defense last
Okay.
year.
And no matter what he's done, the standard is a new standard that mediocre is okay. And then I had a guy say to me, well, you know, he took 0-4 teams and wait a minute. He coached those 0-4 teams. They got there with him.
That's right.
Why
So-
do they forget that in the media?
Oh, because the standard is the standard. And now
Next man up.
Next man up. And here's what's interesting now. If you look at the media, and I'm probably going to get ostracized for this, but you know me, I
Lay
don't
it
care.
out there, Guns.
You got a whole new generation of media guys coming up. You know, and these youngsters so want to be accepted by the Pittsburgh, because, I mean, let's face it, the Pittsburgh Steeler audience is worldwide.
Yes, it is.
And they want to be
Yeah.
accepted so bad that they're on Twitter and they're on Facebook and they're on TikTok and they're trying to kiss everybody's backside so that they're acceptable. Where the old timers would have called them out.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, they
you know,
did. Hence the phrase "same old Steelers."
I
SOS.
you know, I know Art Rooney Jr. I got great respect for him. He's one of the nicest gentlemen you'll ever meet.
Wow.
But he ain't his grandfather. His grandfather would have said, sayonara. And that's what's on my mind.
Thank you, Guns. All right. You're not going to see Nick on TV. He's back in the control room. He has a mic on. What's on your mind, Nick VIP Callis?
He's Charlie now from Charlie's Angels.
All right, Charlie.
What? Okay.
Charlie's Angels.
He's too young to
You
know.
got 3 guys.
I've never seen that movie. That's why I made that
No,
sound.
it was a show.
TV show.
You ever hear of Farrah Fawcett?
No.
Okay. You don't know much. She had one of the greatest posters
Yes,
in
she
history.
did. Yes, she
Jacqueline.
did.
Jacqueline Smith.
Yeah. All right. We'll just go with Nick VIP Callis.
All right. Yeah. Well, as a young member of this media,
Whoa,
I'm
he
gonna-
took offense to it right away, Guns.
Oh, he took a swing.
I'm gonna
Oh,
do.
he got the hook.
That's all right, Junior. By the time we're done with you, you'll be the toughest media guy in the whole state.
Well, on my own volition, I'm going to be frustrated with one of those Pittsburgh teams he just mentioned as well. Not the Steelers, but
Whoa.
the Pirates. So Derek Shelton, I think he was, fine at speaking. He's good at talking in press conferences. He's good at saying things. And I've also talked to him personally. He's a nice man.
Ah, nice.
But there comes a point where, okay, the Pirates lose some games and they struggle, and Shelton has to say some things because he can't tell us everything, right? He's going to give you some sound bites just to, be boring or to hide some information that the public shouldn't necessarily get a hold of. But then the Pirates lose 10 in a row, 13 of their last 15, and after the 2-0 loss to the Marlins on Sunday, Shelton in his postgame press conference was asked what's wrong with the offense, why is the offense struggling, and he said, I don't know, we're just not hitting. And that frustrates me because Austin Hedges is still the everyday starting catcher. And he would be an answer in that case to take out of the lineup to make the lineup better. He's batting in the 160s. That's terrible. That's
That's
not
below the Mendoza line.
see, and that's a batting average that if Chip and I were here, we would agree on is too low because sometimes we disagree on what's too low, but in that case, 160 is too low. What's wrong with the offense? That's what's wrong with the offense. Now I know Shelton can't say that, but it's so oblivious at this, or it's so
Why can't he?
apparent at this point that you can't be oblivious to it. That's the answer to the offense. So when the manager goes up there and is asked about the offense and responds with, if I wish I had an answer for you, I'm gonna get frustrated at that. That's not good enough for me. That's not a good enough answer. And management letting a guy batting 160 in there while the team has lost 10 games in a row and lost 13 of their last 15 is not acceptable. I don't care what high April brought, and what optimism we had. That's whatever it is. The middle was going to be found at some point. May was not a desirable month, but June saw May and told May, hold my beer. So that's pretty much what happened.
That was a good one, Nick.
So
Good one, Nick.
I'm just saying, June, they did not lose 10 in a row in June. They didn't get swept 3 consecutive series in June, and they didn't have a 15-game stretch where they lost 13 of those games. So Shelton saying he doesn't know what's wrong with the offense is nonsense, and I'm frustrated by that answer, and I'm frustrated overall because they're giving us sound bites right now when there are obvious problems. And I'll say this, too. If they bring up Endy Rodriguez and have him play first base and they keep Davis as a DH and in right field, I'm going to lose it because that shouldn't happen. One of those two should play catcher when your starting catcher is batting in the 160s. That's what's on my mind.
Thank you, Nick. I thought we were going to go deeper on that, maybe later. But I appreciate that. Anthony Bacco's checking in. Why do managers have to sugarcoat things instead of stated the obvious? Because of who's paying the bills and who's paying them. And good one, Nick, except sour milk by Anthony Bacca. So I appreciate it, Nick. You're spot on with it. And I don't know what to say, but what's on my mind? Jalen Hood-Schifino. My son and I watched the draft 10 o'clock at night on Thursday. 17th draft pick for the Los Angeles Lakers. Wow. You know who plays there? LeBron and AD.
Yes, sir.
He got picked number 17 in the draft. We're so proud here on Pittsburgh Sportsline that we had a great young guest. And he was one of the youngest interviewees, and since then I had somebody as young as 5 doing boxing and interviewed him, and we beat him on that bit. He held the record for a couple years doing it,
Yes, he did.
and he's just a great young man. Not only is he a great basketball player, but academically, he's at the top there with like a 4.0 average that he's had over the years.
Really?
Unlike his godfather.
Well, you walked right into
You
that
know,
one.
he stepped into that so easily.
Didn't he, man?
That is Smoking Jim. I told you I'd add a lot there. And not only, the nice thing about him, he got a great mother, and she brought him up right, and he has a younger sister, Ava. And I've seen over the pictures with how respectful he is to his mother, to his sister, and other people in general. And in this day in sports, I'm so jaded with having different heroes, but at least this young man has been on the right path in what he's doing, and now he's an instant millionaire. Yes, imagine all the hard work he did with his mother. Shout out to Angel Schifino, his mother, for doing all the hard work and keeping him straight and narrow on this, and he's just a good young man. And I never saw a better smile from a guy that's so humble and proud.
Yes, sir.
And it just hit me right in the heart there. It was great to see him become a number 1 pick in the NBA. Just let that sink in for a minute. All right, we're going to go 10 seconds fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And the one thing that everybody around the country was saying when Jalen Schifino got picked by the LA Lakers?
He doesn't have a double last name with a hyphen?
Jalen Schifino, you know the one thing everybody in the country was saying when he got picked?
No.
His mom is beautiful. That went out all over the world. But hey, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. What's the fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac? Is this weekend a street got named on the Hill District after Sam Clancy. Congratulations.
Hold it. Another Pittsburgh sports line first. Sam the Bam Clancy, my dad refereed his games. I met him, and said, who I am, and he remembered me, remembered my dad, Tiptoe. And I said, would you be a guest on the show? And I told Smoking Jim I'm going to ask.
Wow.
His first comment, he's not always quick. He goes, he'll never come on the show. That's why I remember. It was so quick, I was stunned. I go, he just told me his phone number at Pitt. He was working at Pitt in a mysterious job. We don't want to get into that. And he gave me his phone number, and I called him. It took me 3 tries. I left messages. He called me back, and he goes, when do you want me on the show? And I said, Monday night at Atrius PNC Park.
Wow.
And you'll be my first guest, so if you want to leave early, you can hit the road and leave. Or you could try a Big Mouth Talking Machine burger. So I did tease him with some food. I told him I'd get him one. And I told Smoking Jim, guess who our guest is tonight? Sam Clancy. I never saw Smoking Jim speechless.
Yeah, unbelievable.
He couldn't believe it. And he was a great guest. To have a street named after him, one of the toughest ball players. And, he played basketball, became an NFL football player and a star. Imagine that, and having a street named after him. That is so cool.
Maybe we should have let you do fiction and fact, but I'll get back to my Sam Clancy story.
Well, you seem... the reason I have to add it in there is he played football without a helmet a lot of years, and it was at the Gators in Monroeville. So he's in my prayers. Carry on.
But one thing I can say, I wouldn't go on Sam Clancy Street with a police escort with you guys.
Not
I
me.
tell you what, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, you could put me in a tank with a SWAT team. I still wouldn't go down there. But I tell you what, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, I remember the round ball game.
Okay.
Sam Clancy, senior year, he comes out. The number 1 player in the country was the LeBron James of that era, was Gene Banks.
I remember the name.
And they went at it. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, after the game, the Civic Arena was standing room only, sellout crowd at the Civic Arena. Back then, you got all kind of free gear if you played in a round ball game.
Yeah.
You didn't get, there wasn't no NIL back then, but you got free gear, bags, outfits.
And great publicity.
Warnie Macklin, who was a great player, only played
Locally.
the small game. So he got pissed off after the game and he left. He didn't stay for the big game. But the 2 guys on his team, Sam Clancy and Puffy Kennedy, who's a 40-year career as a janitor, but he went to Cincinnati.
Hold it. What kind of career do you have?
I tell you what, man, you still get a benefit, but they played in the big game. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, after the game, they gave the MVP trophy to Gene Banks. The crowd booed so loud that Gene Banks grabbed that big trophy and handed it to Sam Clancy and gave him the MVP. Sam went on. I still don't know why Pitt don't retire his number or put a street in Oakland where it's a little safer. But Al Levine, the Talking Machine, went on to play 13 years in the NFL, couple years in the USFL. Congratulations to the living legend and former Pittsburgh Sports Line guest, Sam Clancy, who's also in the City League Hall of Fame, something that Curtis Martin will never make.
Who picks the people for the list?
You're looking at him. You're looking at the director.
Thank you, Smoking Jim. Anthony Bacco has a question. Hey, Smoking Jim, how many streets are named after you? And he said, "I'll wait." Well, Anthony, the only streets that he goes to, if you notice, he's wearing Yankee gear. That's a $5 hat, $10 jersey, and a free T-shirt underneath. And he got $20 size 25 shoes on. I don't know what pants he's wearing, but those shoes are sticking out of the desk. All right, enough about Smoking Jim. Thank you. All right, let's go to Show Us Your Guns. That's it.
That's a killer.
That is it. Every day, look at him.
In deference to Jim, the street's named after him in New York, but they thought his first name was Joe. I had the pleasure of going to Pitt with Sam Clancy, but my Sam Clancy stories are not for primetime TV, so I better leave them.
We do understand that. You're a Pittsburgh guy.
Of course, guys might say it was me, but Anyway.
Well, you were a white cornerback, so anything's possible.
And I was the only one. As my good friend likes to say.
He does say it.
Like Tigger, I'm the only one. Anyway, Pittsburgh Pirates. I had fun watching them. I was enjoying them. But then when they were going like batters going 1 for 90-some, what? It's no longer fun for me. In fact, they've reduced themselves to me sitting in the stands of a Little League game, and there's that one kid that never gets to play, and they let him in for 2 minutes when it's 25-0, and everybody's cheering, get a hit. That would be the Pirates to me.
Wow, what an analogy. You went deep on us, Guns.
But this is the interesting part right now. For the sake of argument, imagine a ship, a pirate ship,
Okay.
that crashes into the reef.
I saw pirate ships in Vegas, so
There
I
you go.
understand that.
That crashes into the reef, right? The ship is no longer salvable.
Okay.
But
That means you can't float it.
the other teams, the other ships, are looking to see what on that ship could be taken
They could take, yeah.
and be valuable to them.
You're a history guy. I
They're
like
already
that.
talking about trading McCutcheon, right?
Yeah,
So now this is the great part, because I'm not a great Nutting fan.
I understand that.
So here we go. Is Nutting going to go, oh, wow, now I can make some money because I'm going to trade everybody? So we'll see. My gut tells me that once he realizes we ain't going nowhere, you're going to start seeing guys getting
A
sold.
garage sale.
Absolutely. I like that. A
That's
garage
in
sale.
Pittsburgh. We got garage sales, sidewalk sales.
I think that's where we're at, so.
All
my
right,
pirate
Guns,
story.
we appreciate your opinion. We got to go to VIP time right now because we need some more from Nick VIP, Harry Callis.
All right.
10 seconds.
All right, VIP time. I got some more to say about the Pirates.
How'd I know?
Well, as a short opinion, I don't think they're going to trade McCutcheon, and even if they do, they should bring him back in 2024, and I think that there were also stories about that. So McCutcheon's not necessarily gone, although that I would hope he'd be able to
Temporarily.
contend for at least a championship series by the time his career ends. But a lot of people are on the hype about the Cincinnati Reds right now because the Reds are in first place. They caught up prospects, and
Red
apparently
Machine.
apparently the Pirates have not caught up enough prospects, so there's a lot of
Yes.
a lot of comparisons there. And they leapfrogged the Brewers and the Pirates now to be in the lead in the National League Central. So let me just say this about the Reds, because I'm not all about the Reds hype, although they're doing well now. Everybody is talking about the Reds now because they think that just magically the Reds appeared and it's going to be their time and they're going to do well for forever and ever just because magic happened. They had a bunch of prospects just by happenstance in the minor leagues. Just keep this in mind when you think about the Reds. The Reds, last time they made the playoffs that wasn't a shortened season was in 2013 when they lost to the Pirates in the wild card game. And ever since then, they've been close to the bottom of the division, and they've struggled. And they've gotten to draft earlier in drafts because they've been so bad. They made the playoffs in 2020. Almost every team from the National League Central made it in 2020, though, except for the Pirates, so maybe that's not a great point to make.
Oh, you shouldn't have brought it up, Nick.
But the Reds haven't really made the playoffs in any legitimate circumstances, right? They made it during 2020 because it was a shortened season because of COVID, but otherwise they haven't made the playoffs. They haven't been good enough. So what have they been doing? They've been drafting over many years. In 2013, if we can do math correctly, was about 10 seasons ago. So it's taken the Reds.
Smoking Jim questioned that.
It's
Sorry.
Smoking, it's about 10, 11 seasons. Yeah. So math. Woo. So, but anyway, think about this though. It's taken the Reds 10 seasons to. And it's taken the Reds 10 seasons, and right now they're just in first place. The season isn't over yet. We still got July, August, September to go. So let's not stay too hyped on the Reds. They've caught up some exciting prospects, and those prospects have done well, but it's still a long season. And remember this, it's still taken them 10 seasons to make a legitimate playoff appearance. And actually, to cite my point from 2020, I think they got bounced in the first round, and they didn't score a single run against the Braves in that inaugural 3-game series. So they're not great, and until they do something in the playoffs, I'm not going to just buy into them just because they're in first place right now. I'm not in the business of what's happening today. I like to think long-term, and I like to see more results. So they could make the playoffs this year. If they're in first place now, they could win the division. I'm not going to just say that they're not. But just keep this in mind as you compare them to the Pirates as well. The Pirates last made the playoffs legitimately in 2015. And they had a winning season in 2018, so they're fine. If it took the Reds 10 seasons to at least get to this exciting moment, the Pirates not done with their 10-season-long stretch. They've got some time to figure things out. I'm going to be frustrated with them, like I said before, because they started 20-8, and they've had a horrific month of June that outdid their horrific month of May. But don't act like the Reds are some sort of genius organization that's pushing all the right buttons. They've struggled for many, many years prior to this one, and this season's only about half over. That's the opinion.
Thank you, VIP. Paul Haley, truth, Shelton doesn't know what's wrong. Paul Mercurio's watching. Paul Haley got another comment. Nick, nutting is the let's make a deal Monty Hall of Pittsburgh. Paul Haley from South Carolina.
You're right.
So you're getting some feedback there, Nick.
It's all right. I mean, I'm not going to blame Nutting for all the problems right now, though. He has not spent money in years past. I was certainly upset in 2020 when the highest free agent contract they gave out was to Gerard Dyson for $1 million. That was terrible. But, I mean, he spent money now, and he spent money on established veterans. So this year I'm not going to blame him for all the problems, though you might be right that Sly comment's fair if you look at it as a whole.
Well, I can tell you one thing.
Okay, here we go.
One thing I'm totally 1,000%. Nutting may not be the problem, but he'll make money from the problem. You can bet on that.
Whoa. That's our man in the know from meeting Nutting. So he bases it on facts. And, Nick, one of the things I think that's coming up with the Reds, their winning record was better than when we got beat by the Red Machine back in the 70s.
Pete.
That they won more games. So you know yourself, like when you said how McCutchen's an influencer, and I thought about that a week or so after the show, and your influencer comment made sense because I was thinking about the influencers I had in the 70s. We won World Series, and we expected that. You guys just looked for some winning seasons, which we had 3 or 4 of them, right, Nick?
Well, yeah. What is that?
Okay, so now McCutchen was here for that, so it made sense because I was a little in dispute about you calling him an influencer. So my thing is, who's going to be an influencer 25 years from now?
Nick.
That's the question I have. So when the hype on the Reds that they did better than the Red Machine, which is historical, and in baseball it's all about records and stats. Just talk to Chief and his dad, Jimmy Mack, may he rest in peace. They had the stat books like you couldn't believe. And Chief has corrected me a few times on the show, so he's listening and he knows that these things get people pumped up. And look at the Reds have been beaten down so many years, we never even considered the Reds at all. And look what they just did. They could do what the Pirates did, have one good month.
That's what I'm saying, exactly.
No, and your point is well taken, but we've lived through it almost triple your age. So that's where we understand what you're saying now, and we're with a wait and see what is actually going and where we're going with this. And we've seen it before, like Guns is saying, that all of a sudden we start dumping these players when they show some promise. Because guess what? A team in contention might make an offer with Keller, and maybe we get a number 1 pick and another good pick that could play right now.
I would be frustrated if that happened.
But I'm saying here's the possibilities we've seen that has happened in the past. We're not going anywhere. A team that needs a player or a hitter, guess what? They'll take him. And Kutch is a good batter at his age. At 35, he's excellent. We talked about before the show that they're pitching around Kutch because guess why? Nobody's hitting. And he has a good eye like Nick and I have talked about, and he has a good bat. What if somebody sees in August that they're in the running and the trade deadline is in August, right? What if they traded him in August and they say, hey, Kutch, we'll bring you back in 2024 so we can give you another pension check for $5 million. He's going to come back. He lives here. So these things could happen. I don't want to, put any water on your fire here, but you called it out there, and I'm willing to wait and see.
Everybody seems to be forgetting about the Brewers and the Cubs here.
Yeah.
Good point.
No, good point.
The Cubs are on a high rise. The Brewers have struggled like the Pirates all season. They're pretty much the Pirates, but in second place right now.
I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. I won't watch another Pirate game until they beat Cincinnati, the Brewers, or the Cubs one time.
Hey, welcome to Maureen Callis. Nick's mother's tuning in right now, and we've been highlighting your son going back and forth, Maureen, and he makes some good points, and we're putting our perspective from being older guys and old school. And, I do remember the 2 World Series in the 70s. And Anthony Bacco said, Alan, you stated in an earlier show when the Pirates were hot that we've seen this before. Let's wait and see. Here we are. Good insight. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it. Paul Haley, we'll bring this up a little later if we have any time. LSU won the College World Series. 2 good first-round prospects there. Paul, their whole team, there's like 20 prospects that could play in Major League Baseball right now with what I saw. How do you lose by 20 runs?
I was just going to say
and then how do you win an 18-4 game and close it out? And they have their players are unbelievable. Let me go to what's
My nephew Joshua goes to LSU.
Oh, good.
Watch out for the girls.
Whose son is that?
My brother that lives in Carolina.
Okay, because I needed to know direct relatives because I've only learned about them over the years. Thank you very much.
Too many.
All right, we got to.
What the heck? He's controlled the elections in this county
Nick,
for
put
40
my
years.
segment up
I
there.
didn't think I won 3 times.
Yeah, put my segment on location up so then we can talk some more sports. On location. Got a phone call this week from our man Jose Carabello of Ray Schaefer Boxing Association in Millvale and Sharpsburg and all around. We're going to do a boxing show July 8th at the American Legion on North Avenue in Millvale. And it won't be overcrowded. Jose promised us they're only going to sell 220 tickets. Smoking Jim and I were there a few years ago. He came late. He was fashionably late. Parked a mile away when we said right in front you could park. Sorry, it's all about Smoking Jim. But his stories are classical. So we were there, and
man.
it was packed like you couldn't believe. And we were up there. We had a great time, but it was overloaded. There were even other people announcing they had a tent up there. So he said it won't be that crazy. That was one of our buddies, Rocky, doing his thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we did that, and he's all about our shows. We'll have live streaming, and it'll be at like 6 o'clock. The doors open up, 7 o'clock fights on July 8th. We're honored to be asked to do it again, and we'll be doing our live streaming on the Pittsburgh Sportsline channel on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook. August, we got coming up the Monsville Prison, the haunted prison. We'll be back down there someday in August. I'm not sure when, so we'll check that out. And then I'm going to be doing a Pittsburgh Sportsline fundraiser August 19th, my dad's birthday. I'm going to be doing a fundraiser for Alzheimer's. My mother died August 17th, 1988 due to complications of Alzheimer's at 55 years old. So it's a dreaded disease. It's gotten worse over the years. And a good camera person and friend of mine, Erin Ward, is involved with them. She goes, Al, will you do a telethon? So look for a telethon, probably 4 o'clock to 7 on Saturday and August 19th. So check it out. We'll be open in the studio. I may see if we have a food truck or something come out. I may have guests come in and talk to them. And the Alzheimer's group will be here. Aaron will be here and a few other people. So we'll have a fun event for that for Pittsburgh Sportsline. All right, let's talk sports. Chief brought up about the Maulers. Here's my disclaimer to Ralph, who talks about the Maulers, knows the Maulers, and promotes them.
Cleveland, don't they, or
The
something?
Maulers say they're a Pittsburgh team. I remember the original Maulers that played in Pittsburgh. And to me, God bless you, any team that uses Pittsburgh and doesn't play in Pittsburgh, we bleed black and gold or purple or whatever Maulers are, or Ravens, who knows. But they got to play in Pittsburgh. I don't really worry or notice them, but it's in the news and we see it because it has Pittsburgh in the name. If they play here next year, I'll be a fan of the Maulers. Right now, they're not on my radar because you got to play in Pittsburgh, hence Pittsburgh teams. Like we can complain and moan about our teams, but there are teams. So
like
we'll
the
kick it
Giants.
off with that. George Malerbo's watching, longtime friend of mine from the Post-Gazette and Press. And what do you guys want to talk about? 3 minutes to go. Any hot subject? Other sports that we've talked, NBA, anything else? Or
This Jose Carabello, he's not the one I know that was a jockey at Delaware Park.
No.
Cadge.
He was a boxer called the Puerto Rican Prince.
Okay, because
Very good. Very good.
I couldn't see the one I know doing anything but riding.
Yeah, well, this guy could fight.
He's a Hollywood
And
actor now.
Yeah, he actually is in the SAG, Screen Actors Guild.
Cool.
So we'll be with Jose and him, and they always treat us right there, and we're honored to do the boxing. And I heard a rumor that Colleen Chaos Davis, who we saw as an amateur, is going to be fighting a pro fight.
Wow.
So we hope that's all true.
Wow.
And they're looking at having right now, I'll put it out there, 17 fights. So we'll do that. Nick, do you want to talk at all about the Maulers?
Yeah, I just wanted to second your comment. If you're not playing in Pittsburgh, I don't really care about you.
Like the New York Giants.
Yeah. No, that's great, Nick.
Yeah,
Thank
when
you.
when you're given your label, when you're labeling your team after a city, you want the community to be able to come and enjoy
We'll see them at least.
exactly in person and surround the community around them. And what are they playing? Alabama or Georgia?
No, they're playing in Canton, Ohio.
now they're in-
Tom Benson Stadium in Canton, Ohio, which isn't too far away.
Yeah, same thing. How do you have a team playing in Ohio that's apparently labeled after
Played
Pittsburgh?
the Canton Bulldogs, and Jack Delaplane was their
it.
fullback.
Yeah, well,
I did on
Guns
this.
played
I
the
don't
Canton
play.
Bulldogs, but that was Canton, so you proved Nick and I's point 100%.
Indeed.
Paul Haley, Chris Letang won the Masterson Trophy. Congrats. That's for a gritty player and like a comeback player and a good player. He had his second heart attack, and he only missed about a week of hockey.
That's amazing.
Did he have a heart? I thought he had a
Yeah,
Stroke,
he had a
stroke.
second,
stroke.
Stroke.
well, stroke, heart
Yeah,
attack, it's
yeah.
about the same.
I'm going to tell you
About
something about that kid. I knew him when he was younger.
Did you?
Yes. And
He knows a lot of people.
I'm so glad that he's settled down to be the guy he is, because when he was young, oh, Marone. He was something else.
Tough kid, huh?
Oh, he was a wild man. You know. And the kid that plays for used to always him and Max Talbot and what's the
Oh, the
goalie?
Frenchman.
He never talked. He just sat there.
Yeah.
But Talbot used to keep everybody like cool. But Letang was. I'll tell you guys some stories. I ain't gonna put 'em
we
on
can't
TV.
wait after the show. All right, we're winding down. Any last comments, Smoking Jim? You got 30 seconds to say something.
No comment.
Did we tell you look good today?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
For your birthday, you look.
I never been this old before. I caught up to Gun's age.
Now you're older than me, so just shut up.
All right, on that, thank you for watching the show. Thank
Happy
you for
birthday.
your content and your comments and your feedback and your interactions. We appreciate all of you. And tell your friends, we're trying to get some more people to like Pittsburgh Sportsline channel. Stay Joey strong.